And so we talked about the body, the physical body. We used this form. We talked about the 12 senses. And we talked about how the physical body in our time is completely permeated by mineral substance as long as we're alive. And then we talked about the life body. Now we bring this sphere into a dynamic movement around itself and within itself. And we talked about the 7 life processes and living world. And then we talked about the astral body. We used this form, the astral flowing into the life body from the outside in and then out again and then back in again. So what you have in the life body that stays in the life body, the movement of the life body in and out of itself. Now outside, you have the same movement, but now that's a higher dimension, which comes into the body, in a way destroys the body, but gives you your capacity for your feelings and your impulses and your desires, yeah, and goes out again at the nighttime, and there it's working on your life body so that it has the archetypes to build the physical body, and then you come back in the daytime, and you're free. So I talk about the 7 soul forces and the soul. And then I talked about the soul. Again, there's a threefold soul. So there's the dimension is the sentient soul. So we use this form of this memory form, this archetype that again and again creates the same dynamics within the life body. And we talk about recollection, about memory, because memory becomes habit, and we have long-term memory, we have short-term memory. And so we talk about memory for the sentient soul, the mind soul. We now with these forms that are become memory, the forms for our growth in our body become freed in the mind, they're archetypes which we can manipulate to think about things freely. And we talk about imagination. And like I said, in all mental operations, we're using images which we don't normally notice. You can do exercises to notice. Like I said, watch yourself when you're doing a complicated math problem. Inwardly, you have a very dynamic movement of images taking place in your fantasy. And there we talk about image thinking rather than memory, being free to manipulate mental images. And then the spirit soul, which we use this symbol of coming out of nothing into creating an archetype. So the I has the capacity to bring every archetype out of the spiritual world into the mind. This gives us our capacity to think, to reason, to imagine, to want to do something in the future. So we imagine how we would do it, and then we first have an image of it, and then we make it real. So I spoke about the ideation, the intuitive process. If you watch your own thinking, this is a meditative activity to watch your own thinking, how you bring an archetype through an intuitive form, you use it to conceive, and you use it to determine what's outside you. You normally don't notice how quickly you do that, and you don't notice every time you wake up that you do this. It goes so quickly, and that's what meditation is all about. Meditation is slowing that process down so that you can enter it consciously with your will. So we talk about pure thinking here, not image thinking, but pure thinking in concepts which become imaginations. And then we spoke about the spirit self, which is transforming. The spirit is always, Geist wirkt, Steiner said. So spirit is always working, always transforming, whatever it's doing. It's creative. Spirit is creativity. And so the spirit self is transforming the astral body. So we talk about this image concept of meditation. So you have to learn to control these astral forces through meditation, and then they become imaginations. And then we talk about the life spirit. Again, it's transforming the life body. Yeah? And that's a very high level of development. But there you're working with these life forces. You're already touching the life spirit and the transformation of the life body into the life spirit. And he calls this the realm of inspiration. Also, next level, of the spirit body, transforming the physical body, this level of from going into empty consciousness to giving oneself completely, which normally only happens in death. You learn to completely give up the self, and then you achieve this level of intuition where you are what you've given yourself up to. And we're doing this work all the time of transforming, but it'll take many, many lives. So again, I show the whole thing at once. And I want to finish with an exercise to try to bring all this together as a self-observation experience.